Good afternoon, and welcome to Chess Books 66. This is a review of two books which I've received recently from Everyman. But before we proceed, could you please like and subscribe down below, because I need the support. Otherwise, well, they'll probably push us to the wall. Everyman wouldn't like that if that happened. Now, the first of these I'm going to look at is the Sicilian Taimanov by Nigel Davies. Nigel Davies is he won't thank me for saying this, retired grandmaster who was originally from Liverpool, I think, and has been Israeli and also Welsh. But the truth of the matter is that he doesn't play very much. Why should he? And I'm sure he's got other fish to fry. And he does write very good books, I think. And he also commentates on games with Andrew Martin online. And these I very strongly recommend as well. Now, let's see what you're getting. The book is the Sicilian Taimanov, e4, c5, knight f3, e6, 3d4, c takes d, knight takes d4, knight c6. Now, before I read another word, you would have to agree with me. This is very transpositional. It says it's very flexible, back system, true. Developed by Mark Taimanov, who was a Soviet grandmaster. He played twice in the candidates. Very gifted pianist, but that's as may be. It is characterized by development of the g8 knight on e7, often along with a quick b5, b7, b5, in other words, a pawn break, a pawn move on the queen side. Taimanov often leaves to tense dynamic positions which are ripe in counter-attacking possibilities. Highly experienced and coach, yes, Nigel Davies guides the reader through the complexities and carves out a repertoire for black, examines all aspects of the highly complex opening, and provides readers with well-researched, fresh, and innovative analysis. Each annotated game has valuable lessons on how to play the opening and contains instructive commentary on typical middle game plans. And I'm sure you will agree with me that typical middle game plans are amongst the most difficult aspect of chess. I've always found planning difficult and sometimes impossible. There are also suggestions for countering White's anti-Sicilian tries, thus creating an entire repertoire to meet 1e4. Yes, Nigel comes up with quite a few unusual and slightly quirky, and he won't mind my saying that, ideas, which a question-answer approach provides an excellent study method, all key variations in detail. The book is available from Everyman Chess, that's the publisher. I expect you've got your own supply, and I'm not about to advertise any, probably Chess and Bridge in London. Oh, I just advertised them. Malcolm Payne's lot would be a good person group to ask. This is $18.99, which in my opinion is a bargain, and it's a nice colourful cover. I'm now looking inside to see what we get. It says he's a grandmaster and FIDE senior trainer, and he's the author of numerous books and DVDs, and is known for the clarity of his explanations. I haven't read all of these books, I can assure you, but I have read some. Some as well. Nigel, serious-minded man, same generation as myself. I don't claim any credit for that. The book he is quotes in the bibliography is Taimanov's own book, which I can show you, which is a Batsford, which is about 40 years old. I very much enjoyed that book, actually. It's nice that, like Ullman's book on the French, that it's not crowded out with every conceivable. I've got it here. I can't see it. Every conceivable variation, some of which you wish would go to Jericho. He begins, and understandably so, with his game from Lisbon, 1985, where he played Taimanov himself. So let me turn this to the camera so you can see he played Mark Taimanov, who then would have been a veteran player, as Nigel is now, no disrespect. And this is a game which you should seek out. Obviously, it meant a lot to Nigel to play the great man himself. And here's the second game, which is to be predicted again, with Jim Plaskett playing against Bill Hartston in the Art Masters. And this was where they uncork, I think it was Queen G3, hitting at the knight. And it allows a knight fork to take on C2 with check, king moves, take the rook on A1, but things are not as straightforward as all that. Bill Hartston was at one time the British #1, and I'm little doubt that this was the handing over from the great amateur player to the professionals. It wasn't just that Bill lost, but the manner of his dispatch. It's a game from 1969. I always like it when the older games are quoted, since I'm an older person. Against Lutikov from the USSR Championships. Somebody told me, Ken Harmon actually told me something about Lutikov. I can't remember what it was. But whatever it was, I'm sure it was working. There we are. You can't put a foot wrong in these systems, these open Sicilians. It's called an open Sicilian if white plays, say, 3, D4, black takes it. Leaves to a lively game with less manoeuvring and more cut and thrust. Not necessarily good or bad, it's just the nature of the beast. And here we have another game, Balashov, then quite a young Soviet grandmaster, against Yantsev from Czechoslovakia. So they're showing that game. Just to give you an overview, I'll look at the index at the back. Game by Stuart Conquest. Game by Duda, who's currently playing in the candidates as I speak. Just concluding in Madrid. Game by Anand. Can't be bad. Game by Libazin, who was at one time Russian, but then he went to Israel. A game by Mark Taimanov against Kolmov, or even Holmov. I think Stuart Knox, if he's listening, and I know he isn't, would tell me off and say I had to say Holmov. Neil MacDonald, Ponomaryov. Ponomaryov was world champion under the FIDE system and has the unique distinction of being the strongest player I've ever served champagne to at, or maybe it was vodka, I'm not sure, at the Hastings Centenary dinner 20 years ago. Anyway, this gives you an overview of some pretty cut and thrust games. The Sicilian Open game has always been a little bit of a closed shop to me. Another Soviet game. He's filling in the gaps. The anti-Sicilian Alapin and Moragambit. So the latter chapter deals with systems which are a bit more irregular. Good little things to know, don't worry. Good game by Sveshnikov. And he also deals with lines where white plays 3 or 4, bishop b5. Nimzo, Rossolimo. Bishop Hoff. 1990 Bern Zonal. Gives you a flavour. If you are a Sicilian player already, no matter whether you're white or black in these, I think you'll find this very useful. And game from the Olympiad. Black is known as a person named Caruana. How else can I sell this to you? I met Mark Taimanov at Path E Amidadith, I can't pronounce it, tournament in Lisbon in 1985, a small round-robin event in which he was invited to star. Knowing he would be playing, I watched his games quite closely and noticed something strange about his game against Jorge Guimarães. Again, I can't pronounce it. Hoping for a repeat, I opened 1e4 with him instead of my habitual 1 knight f3 followed by g3. This is how the game went. Yes. Well, that's what I've already shown you, isn't it? From the Sicilian to the Queen Pawn. A game by the most prolific author currently, I suppose, in the world, in the chess world, Cyrus Walla. Cyrus is a very, very prolific author. The Slav, 1 d4, d5, 2 c4, c6. It's a great choice, it says. Yes, I think it's a good one. Slav is ideal for combining reliability with a promise for dynamic counterplay in the middle game. It is, because it's not too committal, that's why. Black simply guards his pawns and plops out his minor pieces, the bishops and the knights, and proceeds to castle. So it's not too committal, but it doesn't get smashed flat in a hurry. Nor do you have to memorize astronomical amount of variations, though of course it's nice to know recent encounters, and that's where Cyrus comes in. There's lots of games, complete games, an index, Dolmatov, loads of games by the author himself, a game by not Carlos Torre, the Filipino Torre. It was Fischer's second, actually, wasn't he, in the match against 1992 breakaway match against Spassky. Hjartarson, looking for a game by an English player. Bariv, English player. Here's one. Tom Rendell against Mickey Adams. I haven't seen Tom for a while. I think he chucked up his university career as well. Tom, if you're listening, I'm telling you off. No, I'm not really. That's about it, I think. Never mind, it doesn't. The book has got 445 pages, and Slav versus the flank openings. So let's just show you something obscure. Against 1f4. I don't know if you can see it. I think I can make you see it. There. That's a good one. So it's f4, knight f3, and black's played d5 and bishop g4, and will no doubt follow up with c6, cementing his pawn. Which can move again, of course it can. An interesting kingside attack being tried by black. There it is, look. The rook on h8, and the bishop and the knight coordinating, and the queen on c1 talking to the bishop, saying, "Are you all right over there?" On h6, and the bishop writes back and says, "Oh, I am a bishop, you know. I should be in church." I have to go for my train in about 5 minutes, so I'm going to rush this a bit, but this is not a book to be taken lightly. Although it has lighter touches, Cyrus is very good at putting in asides. Personally, if I meet a lower-rated opponent who plays the exchange on me over and over, I tend to switch to a sharper line. In other words, don't get duped. I occasionally play Slavs or systems involving d5 and c6 as black, and they do prove useful. Here, Lapdawala is playing against Gary Kasparov in the Blitz Internet Chess Club. I don't imagine he's played him recently. Yes, this has a nice balance of older games and recent encounters. Again, another game by Duda of Poland. A player I try to support. I do never support me, so I don't know why. How's that for pressure on the king side? Look at the white artillery building up. Look. See the queen on g4, the rook behind it. Unfortunately, the king's over this side. If the black king was here, I think you'd find white has a very good position. But Cyrus will know, and Cyrus will tell us. As you can see, they use the question and answer method, which has become pretty popular. There. So we asked a question, not necessarily, make or break. What would you play here? Critical decision. And the white player in the game plays rook e2, which is a mistake, because it says the f-pawn isn't important in this instance. Not in every circumstance. Well, I said I had to go for my train, and I wasn't joking. So I'm going to end now, recommending Everyman Chess to you, en general, and this book in particular, very detailed and interesting. Cyrus has a chatty style. He puts in jokes, asides, but also a lot of meat and potatoes. Principle. Exchanges favor the cramped side. Principle. Fix your opponent's pawns on the same color as their remaining bishop. On the downside, white may play for a break and then apply pressure. There you are. Without being preachy, he is a good teacher. What more could be asked of an author? What more indeed? Here we have the Dutch. It says mainline Dutch, and I can't see anything with F5 being played. I'll have to look more deeply. I don't understand. Never mind, that doesn't matter. Always play your line, never his, advised fictional grandmaster Benny Watts to Beth Harmon, who was preparing for her next clash against world champion Vasily Borgov. Vasily Borgov, and also Beth Harmon. I'm running out of time. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, as I said before, to like and subscribe. Goodbye.